Right, hello, it's Wednesday 25th, I think, 25th of March, so day 3 of lockdown for the coronavirus, and this is a mixed ability Pilates class. So a quick disclaimer before you do this class, please make sure that you are fit and healthy to do it. If you have any doubts at all, then please don't do anything that might cause you an injury. When you're doing the exercises, if you feel dizzy or sick or ill or in any way, any discomfort, then stop the exercise. Especially if you're exercising on your own, make sure you've got a phone nearby. These are times we need to take extra precautions really. So don't do anything that might put you at risk. This is mixed ability, so all the exercises are layered. Choose the level that works for you. I want you to think about your form, doing the exercise well and consciously, rather than just swinging your legs around willy-nilly, because you're not going to get anything out of it if you do that. So think about precision of the movements, use the breath, typical Pilates things really. So anyway, let's get started. I'll stop waffling. So let's start with your feet together. I'm just going to make sure that I've got enough room so that I can do the warm-up properly. In terms of equipment, I've got a towel, a dressing gown belt, or a belt, or something like that, a pillow, and I haven't got my tins with me. Where have I put those? Oh yes, I have. Yes, I have. Here they are. 2 cans, coconut milk and chickpeas, just in case you were interested. Right, so let's make a start. Feet together. Then we're going to turn those toes out, followed by your heels. So you want your feet to be parallel, hip distance apart. Looking down, think about the gap between your second toe and your third toe being directly underneath your knees, underneath your hips. That's the kind of positioning we want of the feet. So we're going to pull up and pull in. Keep the shoulders back and down and gently shift the weight forwards onto your toes, onto the balls of the feet, and back onto your heels. So now's the time to be breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Close your eyes if you want, just to feel that connection with the body. So we're going to shut out everything else that's going on. Just think about what you're doing, that precision of movement, that control of the movement. And then we're going to take the weight over to one side. So we just peel that foot gently away, place it back down, peel the other foot gently away, place it down. Let's do another one on each side. So again, just trying to feel that control, that connection between the mind and the body. Then we bring the weight nice and even over both your feet. So feel like you're pressing down through your heels, and your big toe and your little toe want to stay nice and connected to the floor. That's going to give you a lift through the arches of the feet. So keep those knees soft, or do some pelvic tilts. So we tuck that tailbone under, and then we let the tailbone come out behind you. I'll do this sideways on. It's not a great big movement. We're just trying to tip the pelvis, mobilize that lumbar spine. And we've all got our own range of movement. So once you have done a few of these, we're going to find the middle point, and that should give us our neutral spine. So I think that's about right. Nice pull in through the tummy now to keep that neutral spine. So grow nice and tall now through the crown of the head, so really float it up towards the ceiling. Keep the chin parallel to the floor, and just give yourself a little bit of a chin tuck to bring the length down the back of the neck. And then the shoulders come up towards your ears, press them behind, and then gently draw them down towards your heels. You want to keep the front of the rib cage lined up with the front of your hips. So imagine your rib cage stacked on top of the hips. So this is our perfect Pilates posture. We're going to do our core engagement next. So we're going to start with the pelvic floor. So drawing that pelvic floor up just 30%. So we did the lift thing in my beginners exercises yesterday. So we draw that up 30%. And then it's a breath in. And as you exhale, pull that belly button in towards your spine. You can feel that tightening across the lower abdomen. If you want to feel that for yourself, bring your hands to your hip bones. Draw the fingers in a couple of centimetres, down a centimetre or two. So you're in this soft area here. Relax everything off, pressing in with those fingers to feel the deeper stabilising muscles. So we start by drawing that pelvic floor up 30%. Maybe you can feel the muscles tightening already, and then it's a breath in. And as you exhale, you pull that belly button in towards your spine, and you should feel a very definite hardening under those fingertips. That is your transversus abdominis tightening up, which is exactly what we want. So once you feel that, you know you've got it right. So let's practice our lateral breathing. So lateral means out, away from the centre. So we're going to be sending the rib cage out to the side while we are pulling up through the pelvic floor, pulling in through the tummy. So let's take a breath in. Exhale, we pull up and we pull in. And we exhale through the mouth. We hold this contraction. Now we're going to send the breath to the side of the ribs. And exhale. So keep the shoulders down and back. This is just here to give you a little bit of feedback. So inhaling through the nose. And as you exhale, you pull in and pull up a little bit deeper. Find that connection. Last couple of breaths. Think about lengthening through the crown of the head. Shoulders are back and down. Last one. Excellent. So we're going to mobilize the body next. So it's a breath in. And as you exhale, let's look over one shoulder. Inhale back to the centre. Exhale, we look over the other shoulder. Back to the centre. So we're tying in the movement with the breath, which is also quite key to Pilates. So exhale to move away from the centre. Inhale to return. Exhale. Try to keep the movement flowing. So we'll do an ear to shoulder next. Draw this one down towards, fingertips towards the floor to increase that stretch. Let's do one more on each side. Lovely. Coming back to the centre, we'll do some shoulder rolls. So we can either just roll those shoulders like this. We can put our thumbs, fingertips onto your shoulders and do elbow circles. It's just going to increase that range of movement. And let's change the direction. So we're just mobilising the body at this stage before we could do our Pilates exercises. Last one. And lowering those hands down. Hips stay fixed, facing forwards. And it's a breath in. As you exhale, pull in through the tummy and just rotate to look behind you again. If you have osteoporosis or brittle bones that you might suffer with fractures through the spine and the ribs, just keep this very minimal, this movement. So you might just do a little bit of a rotation. So you really want to minimize any rotation through the spine if you have those conditions. Last one on each side. And then we're just going to free that movement up. Blood flowing a little bit. Coming back to that midpoint. Let's re-line up the gap between the second and third toe, knees and hips. Breath in, pulling in through the tummy. Exhale, doing a side bend. Inhale back to the center. Exhale. So we can increase the stretch by adding in the arm. Hopefully your ceilings are a bit higher than mine. And you can really lengthen that arm away. So when you bring this arm up and over, send it away from you. Space through the joint as well. Let's do one more. And back to the center. Perfect. So we have now mobilized the spine. We're going to stabilize the spine. So this is the Pilates box. So we're going to pull up and pull in. Keep this nice and tall while we do some circles to mobilize that hip joint. So good pull in through the tummy. Keep the pelvis level and stable. Shoulders are back and down. So just thinking of all those points of postural alignment. And we're still breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we can change the direction of those circles. Keep this supporting leg soft, so we don't want to lock it out. Make sure you've got enough room around you. Right, last one. We are going to leave that foot out behind. Keep the hips square as you gently tip forward so you've got a straight diagonal line, and keep those shoulders back and down. Squeeze through the bottom, pull in through the tummy, keep open through the collarbone, and we either lift and tap, or we can keep that leg hovered and pulsed. And if you need to use the wall just for a little bit of balance, just gently touch on the wall, or have a chair beside you. It's another option. And then we're going to keep that knee off the floor, bring it to the front, keep the foot off the floor, I meant, obviously your knee's going to stay off the floor. Rotate the ankle one way, back round the other, and then we gently lower that down onto the floor. We're going to do the other leg now, so again, keep that nice pull up and pull in as we just mobilise that hip joint, and we're trying to keep the pelvis neutral so the movement comes through that hip joint rather than doing this. We don't want to be doing any of that, so we're stabilising the spine, mobilising the hip. Let's change the direction of those circles, and you could do this with a bent knee. Keep your toe attached to the floor. So just working at the level that works for you. Use the breath. Every time you exhale, you engage through the powerhouse. Last one, we're going to leave that foot out behind, square up those hips, gently tip forward so we've got that straight diagonal line, and it is that squeeze through the bottom to lift and tap. Extend that leg. So we're not bending at the knee. There's none of that going on. Good pull in through the tummy. I don't want to be doing that. Let's bring that knee to the front, and we rotate the ankle one way and then back around the other way, and gently lower down onto the floor. Lovely. So we're going to do a balance now. So balance is part of Pilates. You know, we always have a balance in each session generally. So again, if you need to just hold on to a wall or a chair, then that will help. So we'll draw one leg, one knee up. So your supporting ankle might be a little bit wobbly, that's fine. pull up and pull in. We're just strengthening up that ankle, so it's a good thing. Keep the shoulders back and down. Think about height through the crown of the head. The chin stays parallel to the floor. Just do a little bit of a chin tuck. And we're going to bring that foot onto your shin, or you can bring the toe down to the floor and then open up through the hip. And we'll take a few breaths here. Every time you exhale, you are engaging through that powerhouse. We're trying to keep nice and stable. And we're going to take a breath in as we lift those arms up towards the ceiling. Really stretch up through the waist. We're trying to get a big gap between the bottom rib and your hips. And then we just lower the shoulder girdle down, but stay tall through the waist. And we're going to go into a star. So we'll start by straightening up that bent leg and reach the opposite arm away. And then as you tip, think about that straight line between your leg and your torso. So as you tip over, try to stay balanced. The torso and the leg are staying in line. Lengthen those limbs away from a nice strong center. And then we can release off. Give that leg a bit of a shake. We'll do the same on the other side. So again, nice pull up and pull in. And we draw up the other knee. Height through the crown of the head. Think about all those points. Draw the shoulders back and down and really pull up and pull in. So you're nice and strong through the center. Breathing, always breathing. Don't hold your breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. As you exhale, pull in through the powerhouse. Lowering that foot onto the shin or the toe onto the floor, and we open up through the hip. A few breaths here. And we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Lifting those arms up towards the ceiling. Really stretching through the waist and the spine. And then we're going to lower the shoulder girdle, but keep the height through the spine and go into our star. So we start by straightening up the bent leg, reach the opposite arm away, pull up and pull in, so you're nice and strong. And as you tip, you're going to keep your torso and your leg in line so they counterbalance, and then we lengthen through the limbs, pull up and pull in. Every time you exhale, pull in through the tummy, and then gently, gracefully come back down to the start position. Right, lovely. We're going to do our roll downs now. We're going to do reach up and reach back actually. So I'm doing quite a bit of shoulder work today, shoulder and neck, because I don't know, if you're like me, I'm on my phone, I'm on the computer, it's the only kind of contact we have, and I'm getting really tight across the shoulders. So I can only assume that it's happening to you too. So we're going to do our reach up and reach back. Hook the thumbs together, but gently try and pull them apart. So you've got these muscles fired up. Shoulders are going to stay back and down. We're going to pull in through the tummy, so the spine is going to stay neutral. And it's going to be an inhale, arms come up. Exhale as we open, so that the palms are going to face the ceiling. And just gently drawing the arms behind you. So inhale, trying to draw the thumbs apart, then we release, and we draw the arms slightly back, but keep the rib cage soft. So again, I'll do another slow one. Keeping the ribs soft, we open, and we draw the arms back, but keep the ribs nice and soft. So we're going to do 10, a little bit faster. So it's an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep drawing those thumbs away from each other, trying to pull them apart. 4, 5, inhale, 6, 7, 8, open up through the chest, 9, 10. Lovely. Little shrug. This is great just to do any time really. It will help release up those shoulders. So we're going to come down onto the mats now. No, we're not. We're going to do our roll downs onto the mat. So I think that's in the right position. Standing at the end of your mat, think about your Pilates, perfect Pilates posture, neutral spine, neutral pelvis, knees are soft, so we don't want them locked out, just gently soften them. Nice pull in through the tummy. Breath in as you exhale, we start to round down through the vertebrae. Let your arms hang nice and long and heavy and relaxed. Your head and your neck should be relaxed. Try not to poke your bottom out as we round through the vertebrae one at a time. Come down as far as feels comfortable. Everything should be relaxed. Take a few breaths here. And then we're going to restack. So pulling in through the tummy and drawing up the pelvic floor. We tuck that bottom under, building the spine back up one vertebrae at a time. Bring the shoulders back and down, pulling in through the tummy again. Ready to go again. So lovely mobility through the spine. The more mobile and flexible your spine is, the younger you're going to feel. Couple of breaths again. Restacking. Try to build the vertebrae back up one at a time. Use visualization to help you. Think of them as little children's building blocks stacking back up one on top of the other. Last roll down now. Remember, you've got the option to walk those hands, fingers down your legs, or just to slide your hands down. And when you're at the bottom of this one, we're going to take a few breaths and just stay here and let those arms swish and sway. You want them to feel really heavy so that the shoulders are getting a bit of space in them. So sway them about, keep the upper body still. It's the arms you want to be moving. Just feel gravity giving you a nice release through the shoulder, and then you can keep your head and neck nice and relaxed as you nod the head and shake the head. Sometimes you feel lots of popping going on when you do this. That's fine. And then we walk forwards, down onto the mats. We're going to come into a seated position. So I like to sit with legs crossed. If that's not comfortable for you, you could have your legs out straight if that's more comfortable. And I'm sitting this way because I'm facing the camera, but at home you might be sitting with your legs out along the mat. And if you find that it's quite difficult for you to keep this neutral spine, you might have a little bit of a slump going on here. That could be because you're tight in the hamstrings or you're tight in the lower back. So you can't maintain this position. What I suggest is you roll your mat up, if you've got a thick mat like this, about halfway. And then you use the very front edge of that mat to tip your pelvis forwards. Will help you have that nice neutral spine. Okay, so we can think about that neutral spine. So we're going to do some shoulders, work on the shoulders really, just to open up the shoulders a bit. So going back to the shoulders and neck, just find a comfortable position, but keep that nice neutral spine. So always pulling it up and pulling in to keep the height through the waist, shoulders back and down. So I want you just to sort of sit on your hands for this bit, and we're going to do some work through the neck. So by sitting on your hands, you're drawing your shoulders down and back and keeping them stabilised. So it's a breath in And then we're just going to draw ear down to shoulder. Try and get that nice stretch up the side of the neck and across the top of the shoulder. And we're still staying nice and tall in our seated position. So pulling in through the tummy. We'll take a few breaths here. We're going to come back to the centre, and then we're going to look sort of 45 degrees and then look down into your armpit, or imagine that you've got a pocket in a breast pocket. Is it called a breast pocket? In your shirt. Anyway, looking down, get that nice stretch, and again, just by sitting on your hands, you're not allowing your shoulders to lift. So a few breaths here. You should feel that stretch more along the back and across the top of the shoulder, but down from the back of your neck down to the top of your shoulder blade. And then we're going to come back to the centre. We'll do the same on the other side. So it is ear to shoulder first. Make sure you're not sort of turning and looking. So it is literally just your ear coming down towards your shoulder. Try to stay upright. I realised I was leaning then. So nice pull in through the tummy. Stay neutral through the spine. A few breaths here. Back to the centre. We're going to look at 45 degrees and then we're going to look down to the armpit. Draw back with the shoulder. You should feel that lovely stretch. Coming back to the centre. Now we're going to do some neck retraction. So I'm going to go sideways for this so that you can see. So again, we're still pulling up and pulling in, keeping that height through the waist. So that's the Pilates bit of this. And imagine that your chin is on a train track, and or it's like a drawer that you're going to slide the drawer in and open the drawer and slide the drawer. So it's not going up, you're not dropping the head, the chin is staying level, we're drawing the chin back, you get a lovely double chin. Stay nice and tall through the waist as we're pulling up, pulling in. Chin comes forward, draw the chin back. You can feel the muscles down the back of the neck working. So in our daily lives, we're on the computer, we're on our phones, we're doing all this forward action, and this is a really good exercise to counteract that. What happens with all this forward action is you get a little bit of a fat pad developing on this cervical vertebrae here, and this is going to hopefully counteract that, and that's called like the dowager's hump. So we want to stop that from happening. So another couple. You can do it in the mirror, you can do it standing. In fact, I recommend that you do watch yourself doing it in the mirror, just to watch that chin, make sure it's not deviating from its train track. Last one. Excellent. Right, I'm going to move down to the shoulders a little bit now. So again, still pulling up, pulling in, stay nice and tall. So we'll do some arm openings. So elbows in towards your side. They're not going to leave your side. I see this all the time. Elbows come out. So really be aware. Glue them to your side. Palms facing the ceiling. Some people have a lot more movement than others. So, let's see how you are. So, breath in. As you exhale, keep the elbows into the side and we just rotate to draw those hands out to the side. So we're working through the shoulder. People with frozen shoulders is quite a common condition that middle-aged women get, apparently, more than anyone. And this is the movement that goes first. So keep this movement going. Exhale to open, inhale to return. Height through the crown of the head. As you exhale, you pull in through the tummy so we don't lose that height through the waist. I don't know, I'm not counting. I reckon that's about 5. We'll do about 10 of each. This is number 8. Stay nice and tall. Float the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. So we're just going to extend this movement now. So we open, keep those elbows in, and then we're just going to straighten up those arms. Keep the shoulders back and down. Turn the palms back. Draw the elbows back in and close. We'll just do a couple of those. So nice breath in, exhale. Lengthen the arms. Rotate. Palms back to the ceiling. Bring the elbows in. Shoulders stay back and down. Close in front. Last one. Exhale. Inhale, straighten up those arms. Exhale, rotating. Inhale. Exhale, we'll draw them back in. Keep the elbows tight in and release. Then we're just going to do one more. We want to get the arms out to the side. From here, we're just going to do some little circles. Palms up towards the ceiling. Stay nice and tall. Keep the shoulders back and down. And again, nice pull in through the tummy so the spine stays stable. Let's change the direction. Slowing it down. Last couple. Bring the elbows back in and close up. Lovely. So, a little bit of a shrug through the shoulders just to release off. We're going to come down onto the mat and we will do some exercise on the mat. So just have your towel handy. We don't need it for the first one, but just have it within reach. And we're going to gently roll down onto the mat. So we can use the pillow or cushion, something that you can put between your knees, just so that you keep an awareness when we're in our shoulder bridge, which is what we're going to do next, that your knees want to stay lined up with your feet, so that they're not just flaring out to the side, which is often what can happen. Bring those feet closer to the bottom, Hands down by your side. Draw the shoulders down away from your ears. A little bit of a tuck of the chin so we get the length down the back of the neck. And then just be aware of the back of the head, and your shoulders are going to melt into the mat. So we don't want to hold any tension. So breath in, as you exhale, just melt the upper body into the mat. And then we're going to start pressing down through those heels, pulling up the pelvic floor, scooping that belly down towards the mat, and peel your spine up, one vertebrae at a time. We'll come up into our shoulder bridge. So good squeeze through the bottom as you connect through your heels with the mat, and keep a gentle pressure on the pillow between the knees so that you're sending your knees in that direction. So again, just tucking that chin. We're going to place your fingertips on your hip bones just for a little bit of feedback. And it's a breath in as you exhale. So we're squeezing both cheeks at the moment. And then you're just going to release one cheek as you drop the hip down on one side. Breath in. As you exhale, we're going to squeeze again to bring those hips level. And same on the other side. So hip drop. Alternating sides, squeezing both, releasing one side is going to let you drop that hip, and we're going to squeeze to bring them level again, and your fingertips on your hip bones are just going to give you some feedback that this is happening. If you're okay with that, you can rest your hands down by your side, and again think about the back of the head and your shoulders melting into the mat so you're relaxed. Press down through the heels so that you get a nice height through the hips. Watch the rib cage. We don't want the ribs flaring. We want the front of the ribs lined up with the front of your pelvis. Exhale to drop. Inhale to return. Relaxing through the upper body. Use the breath. Exhale, drop one side. Inhale, return. Keep squeezing away from you. Relax shoulders, melting into the mat. Let's do last couple. Last one on each side. Breath in, exhale as you gently return the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Lovely. Good. We can get rid of the pillow. We're going to go into our semi-supine setup. So if you find that your shoulders, what you want with your shoulders is for them to be relaxing into the mat. So if we're very tight across the front here, you might find that the shoulders are kind of lifted away. It's quite difficult to get them down. That in turn sort of lifts your chin up a little bit because we're all a little bit tight here. Chin is floating up towards the ceiling. So what we want to do to try and ease that is get the towel, and you can have it as thick as you need it to be really, so that you place it under the back of your head, and that's going to help you tuck that chin, and that's going to help you relax those shoulders down, hopefully. That is the theory. So we've got that nice relaxed upper body, open through the collarbones, nicely lined up neck and spine. So let's make a diamond shape with the hands. We place the thumbs under the belly button, and the rest of the hands are just going to fall over your lower abdomen. Feet are flat on the floor, knees are bent hip distance apart. Let's imagine we've got that marble in the middle of the diamond, and we're going to roll that marble down towards your thumbs, and then we roll that marble down towards your fingertips. So your back is arching and flattening. Again, think about tucking that chin. So we're going to find the middle point where the marble is sitting nice and still now. We've got that sort of, the hip bones and the pubic bone are level. If I had a spirit level and I laid it over it, it would show that they were the same height. And I've got that flat hand gap under my lower back. So pulling up the pelvic floor and scooping that belly button down towards the mat. We've got that nice contraction across the lower belly. So we're nice and engaged through the centre. We're going to do the 100 next. So the 100 has arm beats. We do 5 beats while you breathe in through the nose. Then you turn the palms to face the ceiling and do 5 beats while you exhale. So we've got options with the legs. Option 1 is one leg in tabletop. I'm going to count while we do the 100, and when I say halfway, you will change to the other leg in tabletop. That's option 1. Option 2 is to have both legs in tabletop. Keep that little gap underneath your back, pull in through the tummy to stop your pelvis from tipping and everything from moving away from the mat. So that's option 2. Option 2.5 would be to extend one leg out. Halfway through again, you change to the other side. And option 3 is both legs extended, really lengthen them away, drop them lower to make it more challenging, up towards the ceiling a bit more to make it less challenging. Keep that neutral spine. So let's take a breath in. And we're going to exhale. So I always start on a breath in. So breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway, 3, 4, 5. Change your legs, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. Hug those knees in. Let's have a little roll from side to side. Now that was option 3 that I was doing. I'm hoping that you were working at the level for you. So let's just have a little release off. Perfect. We're going to do another shoulder bridge. It's time for the arms. So we'll take the towel away, and that's right, we were going to do that. So we can, hopefully you've got a band or a belt or something, a tea towel that you can hold in your hands. If you haven't, don't worry, you can just do it with your arms parallel. We're aiming to keep them parallel to each other, so not out there and not close together. But having a band just kind of helps focus you a little bit really and keep the alignment. So have that resting across your tummy, ready to go. The other option is you can also do this with your cans to have some extra weight. So again, choose out of those options what works for you. I'm going to use the band. The belt. So coming up into, and make sure also before you get in your shoulder bridge, just make sure that you've got that room around you for your arms, as There's nothing worse than getting up into your shoulder bridge and then having to reset yourself. So feet a little bit closer to the bottom, tuck that chin, draw the shoulders back and down. Think about melting into the mat, and then we start to peel. So we pull up through the pelvic floor, scoop the belly button down towards your spine, so you've got, you're nicely centered. And then we're going to bring arms up towards the ceiling, using the belt to help me keep my hands at that same distance. So draw those shoulders away from your ears, plant them into the mat, and it's a breath in. As you exhale, just reach the hands up towards the ceiling, and inhale just to lower and press them back into the mat. So this is, we are reaching forwards, we're protracting, and then we are retracting the shoulder blade. So it's a small movement. Keep pressing down through the heels, so you get a squeeze through the bottom and you can lift those hips up into your shoulder bridge. You might have the pillow between your knees if you find that your knees are flaring out. So that might help remind you. Last couple. And then we're going to finish with the shoulder blades melting into the mat again. Draw them away from your ears. And as you exhale, just lower those arms down towards the floor. You may or may not get them onto the floor. And then we're just going to arc them back towards your thighs, reaching towards your knees. Lengthening your arms away. Drawing the shoulders down as the arms come overhead. Reaching up, lengthening. Keep breathing. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep squeezing through the bottom, lifting those hips. Stay nice and strong in the center. Last couple. Last one, we're going to leave those arms overhead, and as you return your spine, your arms are gently going to arc over to help you keep the front of the ribs soft, and lower down towards your side. Lovely. So we have next some, let's just have a quick hug in just to release off, and you can stretch. This is a really good way to stretch that lower back. Just draw those knees in. If you do get a tight lower back, rock them from side to side is another option. So give yourself a little massage. We're going to come back to our semi-supine position. Again, make sure you've got enough room so that you can get those arms overhead and lengthen those legs out. So we are going to do some scissors, but we'll also do some dead bug. So we've got different options I'm going to offer you. Essentially, we're working the core here. So hands down by your side, draw the shoulders away from your ears, little tuck of the chin. Again, if you find that you need to have this towel under your head, you can do that in this position. So just to help you line up your neck so the chin doesn't float up towards the ceiling. So it's a breath in. As you exhale, pull up and pull in through the tummy, and we're going to bring one leg up into tabletop. So I want you to think about your core as being like a dimmer switch. So then we don't need so much engagement to bring one leg up to tabletop, but you'll find that you need to really switch that dimmer switch on a little bit more, a little bit higher as we bring that second leg up to tabletop. So still got that little flat hand gap under the lower back, but we're stopping ourselves from tipping and arching through the back because we're using our abdominals to pull your belly button down towards the mat. So hands resting down by your side. So imagine that you've got a cream cake on the back of your knee, and you do not want to be squeezing any cream out of that cream cake. So it's a breath in. As you exhale, just tap that toe down onto the mat. Keep the 90-degree angle at your knee. Don't squeeze any cream out of that cream cake. And what happens as you tap your toe down, your hips want to tip, but you're going to stop them because you are pulling in through the tummy and drawing up through the pelvic floor. So we alternate legs. It should be quite challenging. Exhale as you tap, inhale to return. Exhale, pull in through the tummy, so really ramp up that core engagement. Take a break whenever you need to. Let's add in some arms. Arms come up towards the ceiling, palms are facing each other, and it's the opposite arm and leg are going to tap down and then return. The other arm and leg stays still, pointing up towards the ceiling. So you might just stick with the legs, or you might want to add these arms in. Exhale as you come away from the center. Inhale to return. Pulling in through the tummy. Last couple. Lovely. Draw the knees in. A little bit of a rock again from side to side. You should have felt that, hopefully. Strengthening up your core. Perfect. Ooh, running out of time. Okay, leg circles next. Let's crack on with this. So we're going to use the belt. Place one foot in the belt, and I want you to hold it. Hopefully it's long enough that you can hold your hand down by the joint. If it's up there, it's more tempting to kind of pull your leg around, and we don't really want that. It's just there to support you, and then the belt is running up and down. So first of all, we're going to do mobility leg circles. So basically, you're just going to swing those legs around. If you have got hypermobility, which means that you're super flexible, you're going to be concentrating more on keeping that movement controlled. So maybe 90%. You could just fling your legs right round, and that's not actually a good thing for you if you've got hypermobility. So just think about reducing that. Everyone else, we're just going to get as much stretch as we can through those ligaments. So don't worry about stability of the pelvis at this stage. Just swing those legs round. Let's change the direction. Try not to use the belt to pull. It's really there more as a sort of tactile cue, really. Last one. Then we come back to the leg up towards the ceiling. So you might have a slight bend in your knee. That's fine. If you have long hamstrings, you'll be able to straighten that leg. Other leg's going to just fall out to the side. Now, think about the back of your pelvis even on the mat. So just have a little feel of that. And that's going to stay stable now. So when we do our leg circles now, we're going to pull in through the tummy and keep the pelvis nice and stable. So you may just be doing circles like the size of a saucepan, or you might be able to do them larger. So just working with your ability to keep that pelvis stable. Exhale. And lengthen that leg out. Let's change the direction. Slower you go, the harder it is. And you want the leg to come out to the side and across the midline. so that we're getting that ability, that range of movement. We're working all the muscles around that hip joint. Last couple. And releasing, swapping over. It's actually quite tough, isn't it, doing that, especially when you do it slowly. So, big mobility circles. I'm just going to shuffle over here a bit. So big, wide, as much range of movement as you've got, unless you're hypermobile, in which case you will be being a bit more controlled. Let's change direction. And last one. Back to the centre. Again, if you've got that slightly bent leg, that's okay. But we're aiming to have the circles going up towards the ceiling as opposed to down here. So we want to be at neutral spine. Think of the weight of the hips, the weight of the pelvis now on the mat. We're going to keep that quite stable as we start doing our leg circles. So half a circle while you breathe in and half a circle while you exhale. Trying to keep neutral spine. Circles up towards the ceiling. Change direction, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And try to lengthen the leg away from you. The last one or two. The last one. And again, releasing that leg. Only got 5 minutes left really. So let's move on to our sideline. So using the back edge of the mat, I think we'll just do one exercise. Yeah, okay. So back edge of the mat to help you line up. We're just going to do a little exercise to strengthen up the glutes. Then we can bend that lower knee, hips on top of each other, shoulders are stacked on top of each other, little gap through the lower waist. We're just going to do an exercise to strengthen up the glutes here. So leg comes to hip height. Think about flexing that foot, so you're trying to bring your toe towards your shin, and we're going to rotate so that the toe points down and the heel is pointing up towards the ceiling. This is going to work your glute medius specifically and your glute max. So by turning so that the toe points down and the heel points up, let's do, I don't know, 15 of these little lifts. So 1, 2, keep leading with the heel. 4, 5, 6, pulling in through the tummy as ever. 7, 8, 9. So we're stable through the 10, torso. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, let's do 20, 16, 17, 18, 19, lead with the heel, 20, and little pulses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. So we're going to just change sides straight away and do the same on the other side. Straight line through the body. Put that towel in just to help you with the alignment of the neck. And again, you've got that option just to have that arm bent underneath you. Bend the lower leg, Think about pointing the toe down, the heel up towards the ceiling. You're leading with the heel and you're flexing that foot. So up and down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not too fast, 6, 7, pull in through the tummy, 8, keep nice and stable, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 10 little pulses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, lead with the heel, 7, 8, 9, 10, snuck a little extra one in there, and just draw those knees up. We're going to roll onto your fronts. We'll do some swan dive just to strengthen up the back. Roll that towel up, use it underneath your forehead. Make sure you've got room in front of you now to stretch your hands out. Let the legs relax. Arms are going to be 90 degrees at the shoulder and 90 degrees at the elbow. So you're like making a capital E. So nice pull in through the tummy, draw that pelvic floor up, scoop that belly away from the mat as if you've got a drawing pin underneath it. The shoulders want to be down and back. So keep the forearms on the mat. It's a breath in. As you exhale, engage through the centre and extend through the crown of the head. Just coming up to the point where you feel your lower back is going to start taking over. Inhale, exhale to lower. So we don't want to have any discomfort here. Breath in, exhale, pull up, pull in, extend through the crown of the head, just to that point where you feel you're going to be switching on those lower back muscles. Hold it as you inhale, and then we lower. So it's not a massive lift. It's more about lengthening through the crown of the head. So don't let your chin rise up. It's actually, if anything, you're going to be tucking that chin, lengthening through the back of the neck. Now we're going to add in some extra as we lift the arms as well. So a bit more weight. Inhale at the top, exhale to lower. Make sure that you are fully engaged through the centre. Breath in, exhale, inhale, exhale to lower. Now we're going to add in another layer. Breath in as you exhale. We hold it as you inhale. On the next exhale, extend those arms overhead. Inhale, we draw the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale to lower. Inhale, exhale, engage through the centre as we lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. Inhale, and exhale to extend. Inhale, we draw the shoulders back. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, ready to go again. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale, we extend. Inhale, we draw them back. Exhale, we lower. Last 2 or 3. Pull up and pull in, so you are nice and strong through the centre. You shouldn't be feeling it in your lower back. Don't lift so high if you're feeling it in your lower back. Last one. Exhale to extend. Inhale to return, draw the shoulders back. Exhale to lower. Lovely. We're just going to gently come up onto all fours. Easing yourself into your angry cat. So just drop the head between your arms, press the mat away, tuck the bottom under. And then we go into our cow. Drop the belly, lift the tail, draw the shoulders back and keep looking down at the mat. Let's go back into our angry cat. And back into cow. Let's find a neutral spine. So we're going to walk those hands round to one side. A nice little side bend. A couple of breaths here. Let's walk those hands round to the other side. Back to the middle. We're going to do thread the needle. So we place the arm across the body through the gap, lower the shoulder, bend the elbow, reach through. Let's come back to the centre. Same on the other side. Come back to the middle. We're going to open up those knees, keep the toes together, reach the hands overhead and gently sink back so that we get the length through the spine. You're sending your tail one way, reaching forwards with the fingertips. Coming back onto all fours. Tuck those toes under, walk the hands back, straighten up the legs, and we're just going to restack. Coming back up to standing. Shoulders back and down. Nice breath in. Reach up towards the ceiling. Press those hips forward. And release off. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. That's it. We've done 3 days of lockdown. Tomorrow is going to be another beginner's session, 9:30. So you can either repeat one of my other videos or do the beginner's one. Okay, thanks ever so much. Stay safe, stay in.